And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Michael Jordan episode. Sir Ernest. The 6'6", 200-pound shooting guard is a 6-time champion, 5-time MVP. He's a 14-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA. Sorry, I lost my place there. After playing 15 years in the league, after being the 3rd overall pick, and he is a Hall of Famer with career averages of 30, 6, and 5 on 49% shooting. And as last week, 4 of us have him identically ranked, and 1 of us has him slightly tweaked. So I will kick to Uncle Doug, who is the tweak, that has him ranked number 2 overall and number 1 on his shooting guards list.
Yeah, well, and as I said last week, that's probably going to get fixed, but I still wanted to have the conversation for Kareem. But his airness does deserve to be number 1. He 5th on the all-time scoring list, 143rd on rebounds, 47th on assists, 3rd on steals. Alex mentioned his averages of 30.1, 6, and 5. His playoff averages are 33.4, 6.4, 5.7. They all go up for the playoffs. Michael was just unbelievable. From the first time I saw him play at North Carolina till the time he retired. Just an amazing player and deserving of being the GOAT.
All right. Thank you, Uncle Doug. And since I didn't ask anybody, I'll just go next. So the rest of you be ready because I'm going to kick to you. The rest of us all have him identically ranked at 1 overall and 1 on our shooting guard list, obviously. I do think Mike is the GOAT. I think most of us have made that pretty obvious over the course of these many episodes. And I think that's for a multitude of reasons, but he was special. And as somebody that was a fan of another Eastern Conference team during part of this reign, he was infuriating. I'm sure Ray can attest to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I will say that when Mike was in his heyday, I did not like Mike. I rooted against him pretty consistently. Off the top of my head, maybe I'll have to think about it in a minute. I don't think I rooted for him in a single finals.
No.
I definitely didn't root for him to beat my Magic at any point in time in the playoffs. And I personally found Reggie's antics against Michael hilarious. So I kind of rooted for Reggie in those matchups.
Agreed.
We just need to stop right there about the positivity for Reggie. That's all we're going to hear about.
Well, I guess I'll end my opening statement by saying this. For those of you that may be too young to watch Mike or don't know a ton about Mike, he's Kobe, only more efficient. And that will end my opening statement. And I'll just kick it to my couch buddy here while my phone rings.
No, not yet. Go somewhere else.
All right. Wade, would you be prepared to go?
All right, sure. Well, obviously Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Wade said obviously he's the GOAT.
Yeah. I mean, after opening statements, I have all kinds of fun stuff to talk about LeBron. I did research every time I got a chance to sit down today at work just to fuck up LeBron fans.
I love it.
Well, Wade, I've already told everyone else where you weren't here. I'm literally just going to sit here on TikTok and scroll through all the TikToks I have. Look how Michael's better than LeBron.
Oh, trust me, I got all kinds of stuff. It's gonna be fun.
So let me just find one.
Oh, this is going to be a great episode.
Well, before we get to LeBron, yes, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. He's the ultimate culmination of stats, accolades, championships, clutch moments. His shit talking's pretty funny. He's up there with the Kobes and the Larry Birds and all them with the really funny shit talking. Everyone always talks about the Mamba mentality with Kobe. It kind of came from Jordan. Jordan was kind of the first one to kind of take that attitude. He was just an assassin out there, went out there to kill people, and he usually accomplished his goal. And pretty much once he won that first championship, every other full season he played after that, he won. Until he got to the Wizards. And then, and actually kind of fun facts about that. Lots of people kind of just think the Wizards' years were just kind of terrible, but for being a 40-year-old, before he injured himself in the first season, he was an MVP candidate, averaging somewhere around like 25, 5, and 5. But after the injury, he struggled a little bit after he came back, and it drug his efficiency down a little bit.
But he ended the season at 23, 5, and 5.
Yeah. And he was. They said the only other player that year to match his points, rebounds, assists, and like what he was doing before the injury was Tracy McGrady. Was the only other player to match him that year as a 40-year-old man with the Wizards. So yeah. So and I believe even the next year he wasn't too terrible. I believe he got over 20 again, didn't he, Alex?
20 points, 6 rebounds, or 20 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists.
Yeah, I mean that's actually.
No, I screwed that up. Sorry, I was looking at the offensive, defensive rebounds. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was what is he, like 41 that year, something like that?
It says 39.
Really?
Yeah, 38 and 39 is what it says those 2 seasons with Washington.
I thought it reached his 40s when he was playing. Well, my mistake. But anyway, almost 40, and was still killing people with the old Wizards. But
he was killing people with the turnaround jump shot.
yeah, he'd lost a lot of that athleticism at that point. He was almost strictly a post game, really.
Mm-hmm.
But was still pretty good. And one last cool fact: I believe his last year there with the Wizards, he had made the All-Star game, but Vince Carter was the starter, and Vince Carter let him have his starting spot so he could start in the All-Star game in his last season.
I remember that.
Yes, but yeah, that's I'll leave that at that for an opening statement.
All right. Ray, would you like to have an opening statement, sir?
Sure. And I thought one last player episode, I thought one more ranting speech would be the closing line of this one.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Are we gonna hear about Charles Oakley?
I thought about it, but I kept him out of this.
Aww.
Well, maybe I'll put him in there. We'll see what happens. So what is there to say about Michael Jordan? One big memory is that time Reggie talked so much shit to Jordan that Mike flipped out and wanted to fight Miller. Or the other time in a playoff where Reggie was coming through a screen, pushes Jordan out of the way, and swishes a clutch three-point shot. Yeah, those are some good memories. Fond Pacers memories of sticking it to Jordan. Small, happy victories because in the end, Jordan always seemed to get in the Pacers' ass. But that goes along with just about every team in the 90s, and let's be real, we've never really seen such a dominant player who just steamrolled through a decade. Like he did at a high level, he did at such a competitive level, like he was, when he got tough and he got in the gym and got better and seen that first title against the Pistons, unlike today's game where they are too cocky and lazy to improve themselves, and wonder why they got beat. Now we can look at who has the most titles, which is Bill Russell, who has 11 and 5 MVPs. Now he can be considered to be up there with Jordan, but then you have to look at what era he's played in, which was the 50s and 60s. But those were weak years of basketball. Now we get to the 80s of Magic Bird era, where Jordan just coming into the league. Now was Jordan on the level of greatest straight out the gate? No. But he worked at it and got better in OCD Psycho Jordan fashion to be the best. He dominated an era which was so saturated with talent and Hall of Famers It was ridiculous. And I'll just name a few: Reggie, Ewing, Shaq, Grant Hill, Peyton, Karl Malone, Hardaway, Kobe Bryant, Clyde Drexler, Olajuwon, and many, many more. And just 2 3-peats looked like a cakewalk at times, but none of those guys were bitches. Well, there might have been some prima donnas, so pretty much bitches, but the point is that that era was so was not calling up your boys and like, hey, yo, you want to join up and win a few titles? Hell no. Win, lose, or draw, there was pride in the game. There was pride in saying you were the best bull of all time or the best pacer of all time, or saying you were just a champion, because saying you were the best with the hand you were dealt is a lot more impressive than saying you were the best with 5 potential all-stars on your team, Durant. Or instead of improving your teammates and your overall skills, you decided to take the easy path and call some friends to take your talents to South Beach, LeBron. Or even think that it's okay to sit on the bench for 2 different teams because people booing your performance is so much of a mental killer that you can't pick yourself up and try harder. Ben Simmons. And even with hand check rule changes and also offensive rule changes to make the game more exciting, players still haven't achieved what Jordan had. 6 final MVPs, 5 regular MVPs, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, 6 NBA champions, 10-time scoring champ, 3-time steals champ, and 9-time All-Defensive. When players call you Black Jesus, now you know the man must be special. And even when a player who puts himself out there as the GOAT, LeBron, acts in the sequel to a movie that Jordan starred in just to emulate, you have to just to emulate so you can stay relevant because you're too much of a try-hard, and that's just it. You've tried so hard to be better than Jordan that you put yourself into a box and just failed. So in closing, I think I have names for all the eras of basketball. The 50s, we can call it year 1. The 60s, we can call it the continuation. 70s, we can call it the transition. 80s, we can call it showtime. 90s, grit and pride. 2000s, a new era. And then the 2010s to now is called the whiny ass bitches who think they are better than what they are and need to get hit in the mouth a few times to bring their asses back to reality era. The alternate short title is Young Punk Bitches Need to Grow Up era, and that and this is why Jordan is number 1 on my list. P.S. I like to talk shit on these whiny players any chance I can get. Yours truly, the tech guy, Ray.
Thank you, Ray, for your colorful rant.
You're welcome.
So, are you ready now, Drew?
I am. I didn't find the one I wanted, but this one will work.
All right, what you got?
I've got some facts on old MJ. Between 1991 and 2001, Michael never lost 3 games in a row.
1991 to what?
2001.
Oh, okay.
Michael Jordan only missed 6 regular season games in his 6 championship-winning seasons combined. One second, I gotta have a transition. No player has averaged 11-plus assists in the NBA Finals since 1991. Michael did that. Michael Jordan led the NBA in total points in every full season he played with the Chicago Bulls. And last, during his Bulls career, Michael Jordan faced 983 opponents, and he outscored 982 of them.
That's intense.
It is.
I remember seeing that. I'm trying to remember the guy that actually outscored him.
It was somebody. It was somebody late when he was with the Wizards. Because we talked about it in one of the episodes.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but
It was somebody that it wasn't like a bum, but it was somebody that wasn't like a superstar.
Yeah.
I think.
I can't. Oh man, it's gonna bug me. Do we have any like loyal listeners that are in the whole think LeBron is the GOAT category?
Biggie.
Biggie thinks LeBron's the GOAT.
Yes.
oh gosh, so it's time to shut him down.
Yeah, I guess this episode's devoted to him.
I tried to get Biggie to come for this episode, And he's like, no. He's like, I'm going to get too mad at you guys. You guys can't see reason.
Well, the reason I researched all this stuff is because I keep running into all these kids, like, well, probably close to around Drew's age. And they literally all think it is obvious that LeBron James is the GOAT. And they think it's hands down, you're stupid if you think anybody else besides LeBron James isn't the GOAT. And I'm just like,
half these kids don't even know who Kareem is.
yeah, they really don't. I got an argument with a guy at work just a few weeks ago. And he got flustered and he was like, I wish you'd just argue with, like, Justin Nelson. He knows more than I do. I was like, I've argued with Justin Nelson. Which I didn't know Justin Nelson thought LeBron was the GOAT, to be honest. But
Oh, really?
I didn't know that either. We brought Schaller in because Schaller's a LeBron fan, and for the LeBron episode, and Schaller doesn't even argue LeBron's the GOAT.
No, he said that right off the bat.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people, some people, like, really, really love Jordan and really, really dislike LeBron, is because of how he's portrayed by certain people. It's not even necessarily some of the stuff that he does. I used to really not have a problem with LeBron as a person up until the past couple of years. He's said some really stupid stuff, but up until then, it was just how he was portrayed in the media and how people just, oh, you're stupid if you think Michael Jordan's better than LeBron. And I kind of feel the opposite. Like, it's blatantly obvious, I think, that Jordan is better than LeBron. But
Okay, so let's just have the LeBron conversation because we're already beating around
it's
it.
the last episode.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Here's my thing, and I tried to get this across in the LeBron episode and the Bird episode. I think we even talked about it in the Kareem episode. Stack up all the advantages LeBron has over Jordan: the no hand check, the semicircle in front of the rim. The restricted area, that's what it's called. The restricted area, which is a huge advantage, by the way, especially for guys that attack the rim like LeBron and Jordan. The 3 seconds in the lane, the flagrant foul. You know, this
Style of play.
Just the physicality being reffed out of the game for the most part. These types of things, plus player empowerment, where LeBron pretty much gets to run whatever franchise he's on. On top of that, repeatedly teaming up with not just other players, like, hey, this is my buddy, I want to play with him. Superstars. Not like, oh, I'm teaming up with a guy that made a couple All-Star games. We're talking like top 5 players in the league a lot of times. You know, Dwayne Wade was probably a top 3 player in the league when they teamed up. Anthony Davis was widely considered a top 5 player in the league when they teamed up. Kyrie was.
Look how LeBron's improved him.
Yeah.
Chris Bosh and Kevin Love were both voted the best power forward in the league the year before they joined LeBron.
Yeah. Well, I asked Schaller in the LeBron episode, why, if LeBron doesn't want them to do the things big men do, why does he keep teaming up with big men and sticking them in the corner? He completely made Chris Bosh change his game from start to finish to fit him and D Wade, and then he just stuck Kevin Love in the corner for 5 years or 4 years, whatever it was, and completely changed him.
Honestly, Kevin Love was probably going to be a surefire Hall of Famer, and now he probably won't make the Hall of Fame.
No, I don't think he will either.
Yeah, so he'll be just short.
But I mean, partly to do with LeBron, but the other part of it is injuries have taken the second half of his career, unfortunately. He hasn't really been healthy for a full season since LeBron left, I don't think. But you add all those things together, and he still hasn't won as much as Mike.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff, like, I mean, all the stuff you said is true, but a large part of my argument really has nothing to even do with that. It's just flat out looking at what they've done and what they were, and just what they've accomplished. Like, I'm not even factoring most of that stuff even in. Then I think a lot of it is it's just obvious. I think. Like I don't know. It just the Jordan LeBron conversation I think is mind blowing. That so many people think LeBron is better than Jordan.
Well, it's just recency bias.
Yeah.
It's because they haven't watched any of the old. It's hard to say old back for Mike, but yeah, it was a while ago. They haven't seen that stuff. And before you start talking about the GOAT, you need to look at the other players that should be in the conversation. And LeBron doesn't want you to look at the other players in the conversation. He wanted to jump over everybody and just declare himself the winner.
Yeah.
Well, before we run away from it, I have this pulled up. This is a 7-year span in Mike's career, okay? Over that 7 years, he averages 33 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals and a block on 51% shooting. But this is he won the scoring title all 7 years at 37, 35, 32, 33, 31, 30, and 32. One of those seasons in there, he averages 8 rebounds and 8 assists and 3 steals. Just asinine output during those numbers. But he also wins 3 titles during that time. He wins, I don't know how many MVPs he wins during that time. A few. He wins the Defensive Player of the Year during that time. He makes All-NBA every year of that time. He makes All-Defense every year of that time.
He gets a bunch. He has 3 steal titles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all 3 steal titles are in that time. Yes, you are correct, Wade. He wins the minutes title twice during that time, playing over 40 minutes a game. He played all 82 games, 4 of those 7 seasons, and the lowest number of games he played during those 7 seasons was 78.
Yeah.
So he pretty much played a full season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only player to win a scoring title and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season.
Well, I read something today. There's only 2 guards in NBA history to ever finish top 5 in MVP and finish top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. Kobe's done it twice, and Jordan's done it 7 times.
Wow.
That's
Damn.
nuts. And I think what people need to realize is, because everyone always talks about LeBron's versatility and all-around ability, which he is. His all-around game is up there with some of the greatest players of all time. But Jordan's is too. But everyone just always thinks, all he did was score the ball. All he did was score the ball. Well, yes, he did score the share of the ball better than probably everyone else. He has the highest scoring average in NBA history.
Yeah, ahead of Wilt Chamberlain. People don't understand this.
Yeah.
He has a higher points per game average than Wilt Chamberlain.
He did all of it before the hand check and all the rule changes. And he's doing all this. But like there was a certain stretch in his career where they made him run the point due to injuries. And they said he almost averaged a triple-double. It was like over like 20 or 30 games. And they said he was putting up a triple-double like every other or every third game.
He had a streak where he had a triple-double for like 12 straight games or something, like that.
Insane,
Yeah.
like overall
88,
period.
89. I had made a note about that. They tried him at point guard, and in an 11-game stretch, he had 10 triple-doubles.
There you go.
He averaged 33.6 points, 10.8 rebounds, and 11.4 assists playing point guard. And the one game that he didn't get the triple-double, he scored 40 points, 7 rebounds, and 11 assists.
Yeah, so his all-around ability is just fine. Well, Kobe Bryant did the same thing. Kobe Bryant, I don't remember the exact time period of year. He got mad at his point guard, and I remember
Smush Parker.
It probably was. It probably honestly was. And he was like, pretty much like, fuck this, give me the ball, I'll run the show. And he just started dropping dimes, and he had like a couple-week period where he was getting double-digit assists night in, night out. So these players like Kobe and Jordan, their all-around ability is up there with the other guys, but they chose to go about it in a little different way. It was assassin mentality, score, I want to kill you, and then over time they kind of learned when the right times were when they had to use their teammates. Instead of someone like LeBron kind of came in and had to learn when to be aggressive. Like, would you agree with that?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I do. And here's my other thing. I'm not saying it's nothing. That's not the point I'm trying to make. But LeBron, for his career, averages 2 more assists than Jordan. It's not like we're talking about Jordan and Magic here, where the gap between assists is large.
Yeah.
We're talking about 2 assists a game, which again is nice, but it's not like an astronomical amount of assists that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And
Jordan averages 3 or 4 more points.
Right. Yeah.
So.
And I don't. It's. I don't even know where I was going to go with that, to be honest with you.
Well, if we want to take a deep dive into this, I have a bunch of stuff.
Go for it. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
I've got some stuff.
Go ahead and
too.
go as while I gather my stuff.
All right. In the playoffs, Jordan is 7-2 against 60-win teams. In those 2 losses, he averaged 40 points a game. So
They're probably against the Celtics.
probably.
Yeah. Well, he never beat Larry Bird in the playoffs, did he?
No, he never did.
Yeah.
And LeBron is 3-4. Against 50-win teams, Michael is 20-7. LeBron is 16-9.
So what was that? 16-9? Is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah. So
Damn Raptors. He was beat up on the Raptors.
Yeah, that is true. Those damn DeRozan,
always beat up
Lowry
DeRozan.
Raptors. Yeah.
So yeah, that's that one.
Yeah, I mean, his second year in the league, he makes the playoffs, plays Boston. This is Boston's best ever team. 86 Celtics. Parrish, McHale, Bird, DJ, Ainge, Bill Walton off the bench. He averages 43 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists on 50% shooting.
Yeah.
And gets swept.
He was an assassin. Well, I mean, you have the obvious stuff. So I'll just quickly go over some of the stuff we've repeated over the 70 episodes we've been doing.
72.
Yeah, 72. Well, like we discussed in the difference between them is a full Hall of Fame player as far as accomplishments. So Jordan has 2 more titles. He has 1 more regular season MVP, 2 more finals MVPs, 9 more scoring titles. It's either
A defensive player of the year.
defensive player of the year, and I believe 4 or 5 more all defensive teams. That's the difference between them. While LeBron has played now, I believe 5 more seasons.
It's 15-19, I think, so 4 more
So
seasons.
4? Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 more seasons. So that's just the obvious stuff you can look up. And Jordan has the highest points per game average in NBA history. Oh, and then just to get specific with scoring, like I said, Jordan has the 10 scoring titles. LeBron has the 1. In the playoffs, Michael Jordan averaged over 40 points per game, an NBA record 5 times, for a playoff series, which is, like I said, is the NBA record. LeBron has never done it. And when it comes to efficiency in scoring, LeBron has 4 playoff series in his career where he has shot less than 40%. Jordan only has 1.
Less than 40%?
Yes.
Oh.
LeBron has 4 of them for a series, and Jordan only has 1.
I can only think, not that I'm a LeBron expert here, but I can only think of one. He shot less than 40% the year that Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt.
Well, you got to think some of those early years, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
when he was with the Cavs. Well, the Spurs made him look pretty bad in that first finals appearance.
The Mavericks probably did.
I mean, I'm sure they're scattered out throughout his
Mhm.
career. And then, where was I? Oh, yeah. And then, obviously, Jordan was doing all this before all the rule changes in the hand check, so it was harder for Jordan. So then, obviously, you have the whole era conversation, which we pretty much already covered, so I won't go too far into that. And then, as far as defense, Michael Jordan, first team all defense, Jordan had it 9 times, LeBron has it 5. Steals championships, Jordan has 3, LeBron has a big fat 0. Jordan won Defensive Player of the Year, obviously. LeBron has never. LeBron James has allowed his opponents to increase their scoring averages in the finals. And it says, see Tony Parker in 07, Jason Terry in 11, Kevin Durant in 12, and Andre Iguodala in 2015.
My boy.
Well, while we're talking about defense, Wade, I got one for you.
Okay.
About
Go
Mike.
ahead and spit in there.
Most blocks in a season. Joel Embiid has 122. Bam Adebayo has 93. DeAndre Ayton has 81. Michael Jordan has 131. And he's a guard.
Wow.
He averages a block a game for his career, doesn't he? No, he's at 0.8. But he had
a season of 1.6, so almost.
He has 5 seasons of over a block a game. Yeah, and like you said, he has back-to-back seasons where he's averaged 1.5 and 1.6.
In the NBA Finals, the headline of this particular article that I saved, it says, LeBron James is a turnover machine. Try and guess how many turnovers LeBron James has for his career in the finals. Take a gander.
Oh, I don't know.
Now, he's played in the finals a lot.
Do you know how many finals games he's played?
No,
I'm just trying to think.
I'm sure it's a lot.
I got it. I'll pull him up.
He's been in what, 10 finals?
Yeah, I think you're right. At least 9.
Yeah, I was thinking, isn't he 4 and 6?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, so maybe
Because he's lost as many as Jordan's
I'm going to say 150.
Okay.
I'm going to go bigger than that. I
You
know
got a
that.
guess, Uncle Doug?
I'll go 450.
Let's go 201.
201. Okay. It's not 450, Drew. I can tell you that. That's a fuck ton of turnover.
All right, so he got swept in his first finals, so that's 4 games. And then he played 6 games in his next finals, so now we're at 10. And then he played 5 games in his next finals, so he's at 15. In his next finals, he played all 7 games, so we're at 22. His next finals is at 5, so we're at 27. And his next finals is 6.
33.
33, sorry, I lost count there. Then we're at 7 more, so that's 40. And then we're at 5 more.
45.
45. And then we're at another sweep. And then
49.
and then we have a 6-game series.
So 55.
55.
55 games.
55 games. He has 177 turnovers.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'm gonna guess around 4 games. So yeah, I would have guessed around
And
200.
LeBron James in the finals has led both teams in turnovers in 2017, 2016, 2014, and 2011. So, just more fun stuff. And then, in clutch moments in the playoffs, in playoff career, game winners or game-tying shots with 24 seconds or less, Michael Jordan is 9 for 18, shooting 50% on game winners in the playoffs. LeBron James is 8 for 23 at 35%.
Well, we're talking about game winners, and this is not me trying to be mean to LeBron. Do you have any memories of LeBron game winners?
No.
Not in the
Memories
finals.
of him
He has-
passing the ball instead of taking
He
a
has,
shot.
he has that one when he's with the Cavaliers in the playoffs against
Well, I was gonna say
Detroit or the Magic.
I remember the
remember
one.
that
I remember the one
early
against
on.
Orlando because
Yeah.
obviously it was against Orlando, but he lost that series.
But in the
It was
final,
it was a game early in the series that he hit. I think it was game 2 maybe. He hits that game winner from like almost half court.
he has one against the Bulls, I believe, in Cleveland. But again, it's not the finals; it's just the playoffs, I believe.
But other than that, he doesn't have like one that like pops out.
Well, all the important ones in the NBA Finals were made by Kyrie Irving and Ray Allen.
The only one I can think of is LeBron James misses, rebound Bosh, back out to Allen.
Kick out to Allen, bang!
Yeah, LeBron miss. That's all we hear.
Now I will say, one of the greatest finals moments of my life is his block shot out on Andre Iguodala. Though that was filthy.
That was
filthy.
just pure athleticism.
Yeah.
And if you throw in game playoff winners or tiers with 25 seconds or less, so just give Michael Jordan an extra second, he has another game winner. And then, just in the finals, Michael Jordan has 4 game winners and 8 chances, so again 50%, while LeBron shoots 0% and is 0 for 6.
He's 0 for 6 on what now?
Game winning or game tying shots in the finals.
Oh, okay.
He's never made one, while Michael Jordan is 4 for 8 at 50% rate. So yes, just a little deep dive into some Jordan versus LeBron stuff. Oh, I got more fun stuff. Sorry. Michael Jordan was never outscored by a bench player in a final series. LeBron James was outscored by Jason Terry in 2011.
I thought you were gonna say Jose Barea.
Well, who knows? That might have happened too. And let's not forget the last 3 games of that Spurs series. Kawhi gave him the old business.
Well,
Okay, we need comment.
Well, I will say, if you want to talk about black marks on people's career, the Maverick series is the biggest black mark on LeBron's career. Because we talked about how bad he was in the Spurs series. I don't even hold that series against LeBron. His team didn't deserve to even be there. Like, he did will that team to get to the finals, beat that Pistons team, and got blown out repeatedly in a sweep. But I don't even hold that against him. They were heavily favored by an outmanned Mavericks team and got spanked.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I'm not even really being sarcastic. In the last 3 games of the 2014 finals, when Kawhi is in like his second year in the league, he wins MVP because he outplays LeBron in games 3, 4, and 5. And then LeBron James has never had to defeat 3 teams with 50 wins or 2 teams with 60 wins in a playoff run. Jordan did it 5 of his 6 seasons when he won a championship. Yes, and then LeBron James likes to pad his stats when the game is already a blowout. Here are just some fun stats. Talks about how he was completely outplayed when it mattered. They were getting blown out by more than 15 points. And then in games 3, 4, and 5, he scored 51 of his 81 points when they were already losing by more than 15 points. So just padding up those stats. I believe that was in 2011 against the Mavericks. Ooh. And yeah, that's, I believe, the majority of the fun deep dive I did. And Michael Jordan has never proclaimed himself the greatest player in the world, like LeBron has on multiple occasions.
Well, I think we talked about this a little bit in the LeBron episode, because I said it to Schaller, like, LeBron tells us he's the greatest player of all time. He's done it multiple times. Mike never had to tell us he was the greatest player of all time. And Schaller had a pretty good retort, like, I want my players to be confident and think they're the best. And I agree with that for the most part. Like, I do want guys to be confident. I think you have to be confident to be a great athlete. I don't want you going out there thinking, well, obviously these guys are better than me. Like, you can't go into a game like that. I get that. But I do think it's different to be like, hey, I'm actually the greatest player ever. Not, I'm better than my opponent or whatever the case may be. And I think Wade had a great point. I don't even know did you say it on air, Wade, or did you say it just to us, where you said that you thought LeBron skipped over that second tier behind Michael?
I don't know if I said it on or off air, but yeah, by him anointing himself the GOAT, I think a lot of people had him like in top 5, top 6 or 7 of all time. Probably quite a while ago. But when he did that, people automatically started arguing him and Jordan. Well, I think he skipped at least Magic and Jabbar. Just kind of skipped right over him. Because, I have both those players ranked ahead of him on my all-time rankings. And certain people still believe, Bird or Duncan or Kobe or Shaq are better. It just depends on everybody's opinion. But that all kind of just got surpassed when he proclaimed himself the GOAT however many years ago he did it the first time, because then people just focused on the whole him and Jordan rivalry.
Okay, so we've talked about on this podcast, well, quite often, I think, about guys that stuck around too long and accumulated numbers. It got brought up in as recently as Jabbar. It got brought up as far back as somebody like Robert Parrish. Guys that at the end of their careers played, 1, 3, 5, too many years. But their counting stats are pretty nice because of it. To be honest with you, if we were just basing careers off counting stats, Robert Parrish is probably pretty fucking phenomenal. Now all of us think Robert Parrish is good, but we don't think he's elite. It's pretty clear in this room he only made one list, so obviously the rest of us don't even think he's top 50, more or less, top 10 player of all time. But it seems like LeBron fans right now, their claim is, well, look at all these counting stats. Look at all these counting stats.
Yeah, that's all we got.
And I'm like, since when did counting stats become the thing we base whole careers off of. You know, like, no, I'm not saying they're nothing. I'm not saying that before this we didn't think Kareem being the all-time leading scorer was nothing. You know, and LeBron is going to end up being the all-time leading scorer unless he has a catastrophic injury in the next 20 or 50 games. But that's cool and all. But does that outweigh the per-game numbers? Does that outweigh the titles? Does that outweigh the MVPs and scoring titles, or all of them combined?
Well, I think here's the one. I have two responses. LeBron fans have created two things. The counting numbers automatically make him better than Jordan's because you can just, oh, look, he has more. Okay. And losing in the finals is now an accomplishment because of LeBron James. Well, he made 10 NBA finals. That was one of the comebacks that the guy I work with kept saying. Like, no one gives a shit if you lose. The best team in the 90s in the NFL was not the fucking Buffalo Bills. Going to the Super Bowl and losing is not, it means you're probably a good team, but it doesn't mean anything in the long run. And as far as career totals and stuff go, career totals are nice. It's something you can point to and be like, hey, he made top 10 or, this and that. It's nice. It's something you can throw in during an argument as a small part of it, but it's not. If him and Jordan were more close in everything that me and Drew have said, like if it was actually kind of a back and forth, like, okay, Jordan has one more title, but LeBron has more MVPs, and then Jordan has more scoring titles, but LeBron has more all-defensive teams, and then LeBron has all those career totals, then you might be able to say LeBron's better. But Jordan kicks his ass in almost everything, but he just has career totals on his side. That's why it's kind of like, Like, I think the best way to end this conversation is, why is Magic better than John Stockton? And if they say, oh, well, championships and MVPs and all this other stuff, it's like, yeah, that's what we're telling you. John Stockton is a great player. John Stockton is a Hall of Fame point guard. He made all of our lists, I believe. He deserves to be there, but he's not Magic Johnson. Just because he has the most assists of all time and the most steals of all time doesn't make him the GOAT. And that's how it goes for LeBron and Jordan.
That's a really good way to put it, Wade. I like that argument. And here's the thing. Nick Wright has a argument against for the finals appearances thing. And it does make sense as far as like, well, it's better to lose in the finals than in the first round of the playoffs, which I think is true. But before now, we never considered when you lost if you lost. It was just, well, who won the title and who didn't win the title. We didn't give a shit that where you lost, you lost. You're one of the losers this year, not the winner. And we didn't sit here and go, well, this person made the first round, and this person made the Eastern Conference Finals, and this person made the finals, and so these people are better. There's so much more that goes into that argument than just where did you make it in the playoffs that year.
Well, I got one for Nick Wright. Hopefully he's listening.
I hope he is too.
Because, okay, if LeBron James gets credit for making 10 championships in what he's getting ready to go into his 20th season, what does that mean for Magic Johnson, who made 9 and 12?
And Kareem, who made 10.
Yeah, so we can suck on that.
Yeah.
Making 9 and 12 or 13 seasons is much more impressive than 10 and 20.
Well, the other
19. Whatever.
Well, now Nick Wright has changed his argument to say that Michael is now the third greatest player of all time.
Yeah,
because
for some reason, people that haven't been playing in 20 years just keep flip flopping because they're accomplishing so much. On the
exactly. Yeah, he is now vaulted Kareem ahead of Jordan. Which again, I'm not saying that you can't have that opinion. Biggie, who I mentioned earlier, also has that. Oh, Uncle Doug put it on his list. I mean, but Biggie says that Kareem is better than Jordan. And I'm not saying it's an impossible thing, but that argument hasn't changed in the last 2 years. Both of them have been retired for quite some time.
That's what I'm saying.
Jabbar didn't add another ring or an MVP this year.
Yeah.
So, and again, I don't want to sit here and act like everything Nick Wright says he actually believes, because I think he's just trying to make his TV show clickable.
Get some ratings.
Yeah. By the way, it does have MJ listed under 200 pounds on Basketball Reference, which I saw multiple places where he was listed at 235.
I bet once he bulked up, I bet he was probably 235. I bet when he came in the league, though, he had to be at least a little over 200.
Those
He was skinny, but
some of his North Carolina highlights, he's pretty skinny.
Pretty skinny.
but I mean, he's still like 6'6". I mean,
Mhm.
I'm 215.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not exactly a bodybuilder. I mean,
Right.
how much do you weigh, Drew?
About 190.
190, and he is what, 3-4 inches taller than you?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we've been talking about Jason Terry. I found this one. When Jason Terry played Michael, when Michael was 40, Michael averaged 19, 5, and 7 with 0.8 turnovers.
Okay.
Now, when he plays LeBron in the finals, LeBron has 17 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, and 4 turnovers a game.
And Jason Terry is approaching old man status at that point.
Yes, this is.
And he's what, 6'1", 170 or something stupid like
Yeah,
that?
he's a point guard.
Yeah.
Well, he was a shooting guard in a point guard's body, but
Oh, and Michael shot 51% from the field and 92% from the free throw line. LeBron shot 47% from the field and 60% from the free throw line.
that has been another crutch of LeBron is free throw shooting.
Yeah.
His career free throw numbers are average, and then he's missed some pretty clutch free throws. That's one of the actual truths that Skip Bayless always talks about. Skip Bayless is an absolute moron, but that is
Yeah.
one thing that he actually says that's true. LeBron does miss a lot of clutch free throws.
Well, not just he missed clutch free throws. I think there's a lot of times in his career in late game situations he doesn't attack because he's afraid to go to the free throw line.
Yes.
Yep.
He shies away.
Yep. I think that's led to some of the situations where he passes to other
He does
guys.
that damn fadeaway or step back
Yeah.
jumper over and over.
Yeah, I mean that's what he did. And when Ray Allen hits the game winner in the finals, LeBron misses a step back fadeaway 3-pointer.
Yeah.
You know, and at that point in his career, LeBron was not a good shooter at all. He's become a pretty decent shooter the last few years, but
Yeah.
that point in his career, he was not.
No, he was bad in Cleveland. Miami, he started to get to the point where he was solid, but nothing special in any way, shape, or form. As he's gotten older, he has improved it. But he was pretty bad at it in Cleveland, the first stint in Cleveland. But,
Yeah.
of course, I mean, Jordan was too when he came in the league. He couldn't shoot a 3 to save his life, but he also improved at it.
Yeah, I mean neither one of them are good 3-point shooters, really ever.
But in Jordan's era, that wasn't what you focused on.
Right.
Now, he improved it and became a pretty solid 3-point shooter, but that wasn't how the game was played. Now, if Jordan played today with his work ethic and how he already improved it as it was, I bet Jordan would be a pretty good 3-point shooter.
Well, we're talking about competition. How everyone always says Michael didn't play anybody. Well, Michael played.
Hold on, Drew.
Who said that?
Hold on, I say only dumbasses say that.
It's been a narrative.
No,
though,
it's
for
been a
while.
narrative for
Really?
years. How Michael has
It
had
has been a big narrative
That
that
he has
Jordan
no
didn't play
competition.
anybody good.
He had
and
no
that
competition.
LeBron James' competition is much harder than Jordan.
What?
Yeah, that's why Michael went 6.
Well,
Are they interviewing people at a sailor asylum?
I'm
Like,
gonna
come on.
I'm gonna let you say your thing, but I have something to say to that as well.
But yeah, people do say that. But okay, Michael faced 7 of the top 10 all-time scorers. He faced 9 of the top 10 all-time block leaders. He faced 7 of the top 10 all assist leaders and 8 of the top 10 all-time steal leaders. But he still faced no competition.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. If you want to tell me that Jordan did not face a team that had, he didn't face super teams as far as that were stacked with, all these great players on it, you would be correct. He did not face a Durant, Curry, Clay, Draymond, Golden State Warriors. But yes, LeBron did face them, but he had won too. It's not like he by himself or he with one other player was facing this loaded super team.
And the Warriors that you're talking about were only together for a few years out of his 20-year career.
3 years, right? Yeah, they were
out of
together.
his 20-year career. So there's a lot of other openings. And all those finals appearances that everybody talks about, this is not a joke. For a good chunk of time, for at least 4 or 5 years, the best team in the East that he had to beat was led by DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry for a couple of those years. And then the other years, no offense, Ray, but a young, not superstar yet Paul George and David West and Roy Hibbert.
Mhm.
Those were his toughest competitions to get to the NBA Finals.
And
And while those teams-
we gave him some heat, though.
Nope.
It's some good series. It really
Yeah.
was. And the only other team to really give him a good series in that era was the Bulls team before Rose got hurt.
Yeah, and that's kind of who was there pretty much. Was it them or the Indiana challenged him first? And then one kind of took over for the other.
I think the Bulls went first. And
Yeah, I
then
think the Bulls were
Yeah.
first, and then Rose got hurt,
and then
and
Indiana had
then
to go over.
Indiana picked it up.
And then he always like swept the Raptors. But
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Raptors were.
They had like some type of LeBron curse or something. They couldn't do
Like,
anything against him.
like that's not even a joke. That's literally the best teams he was facing to get to the NBA Finals in some of those years.
Well, of the how many years has he been in LA? 3 or 4.
4, I think.
So of the 4 years he's been in the West, he missed the playoffs twice.
Right.
Or is it just?
And if it's not
Yeah, it's
for
4.
getting a 3-month layoff for him and Anthony Davis to rest, I firmly believe they don't win the Laker title.
Oh yeah, the bubble title.
Him and
Yeah.
Anthony Davis both, because there, even before he went to LA, there when he was losing those last couple to the Warriors, it wasn't just that the Warriors were, I mean, they were very, very good, but LeBron was also wearing down as he's gotten older in these deep playoff runs and all these games. And then it happened so perfectly. They got to play this season, take, was it 3 months or 2 months or?
It was 3 months, I think.
Because then
Quite a while.
then
3
they,
months
they
of
shut down
rest.
in what, April?
No, the shutdown happened in March.
March.
And they didn't start the playoffs again until June.
I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
until June. I couldn't remember if it was
'Cause
the
they
beginning of
started-
April or late March.
They started playing again when the finals was supposed to happen.
So you got LeBron to pretty much get, and Anthony Davis, so you have this 35-year-old guy who gets to completely rest his body from the entire wear and tear of regular season and then ramp back up like it's the beginning of the season again for a playoff run. And the injury-prone Anthony Davis rest up and get his body ready to just survive like 20 games. And, they deserve credit because, they won fair and square. But that's an unforeseen circumstances that just happened that is probably one of the main reasons they won. No offense, Laker fans. But I think that's why they won.
I think it had a big effect on LeBron. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
why else did he start taking that time off those years before that? Usually sometime in the middle of the year,
Yeah.
he took time off to...
Yeah,
Get
he
ready
would
for the
start,
playoff.
he did the whole load management going into the playoffs, so he was fresh for the playoffs. And then he, wear and tear happens to everybody. When I say he was wearing down, I'm not even saying that really as an insult. He's played a long time and played a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
A ton of games.
Basketball wears on you.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that was just an extreme advantage to him and Anthony Davis at the time. And it did happen to everybody, not just them, obviously, but it's just, I don't know. But he also claimed that he's won the 2 hardest titles in NBA history. So I don't know how you judge that, but that's also something he claimed on his the shop
The
show.
barber shop, yeah.
Because he said he's the GOAT and then said that he has won the 2 hardest titles in NBA history.
The bubble title and the one when he won in Cleveland.
The one when he beat the Warriors before Durant was there.
Mm-hmm.
They're the 2 hardest titles in NBA history.
So to bring some, difference to this, I would like to play some devil's advocate and throw some stuff out to you guys, see how you guys would handle it. LeBron, if you look at it, has about 40 more win shares over his career than Michael Jordan, and is getting ready to pass Kareem for the most all time. What would you say for somebody using win shares as an argument for why he's the greatest? I don't even know who did that, but that was
We
good.
don't know how to calculate it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as him getting the points title. It's just an accumulative stat, and he's played, 400 more games than Michael Jordan?
As far as games go, he's played 300 more games and 11,000 more minutes.
Okay. And then on top of that, if you want to use advanced analytics, Michael Jordan has the highest PER in NBA history ahead of LeBron James.
He does. Yes, I have that here. What if? Because this is something Shallow and I argued about, so I'll be interested to see what Wade has to say about it. Well, LeBron's true shooting percentage is better than Jordan's.
Yeah, it might be.
He's like, yeah, it might be.
It's gonna be the same thing as last time. It's the 3-point.
What is?
It is. It has everything to do with because Mike is very similar to Bird in this argument because it's LeBron shoots a few percentage points better from the total field, so they're pretty much the same as far as field goal percentage. So was Bird, and then they shoot astronomically higher than him from the free throw line. Bird shot better than him from the 3-point line. Jordan does not. But because LeBron shoots more 3-pointers than Jordan or than Bird, his true shooting percentage is higher because they weight 3-pointers.
Right.
Well, as far as like the Jordan LeBron, if you said LeBron is more efficient than Jordan, I mean, he might be by a little bit, but I mean, it's not by. I mean, Jordan. I would say Jordan is. I mean, he is a better free throw shooter, correct?
Well, like 10%, yeah.
Yeah, and then LeBron is one of the greatest players ever at getting to the paint. I mean, he's an absolute freak. Look at him. I mean, he's a monster going to the basket. So I mean, and that was what was one of Jordan's strong points too. And he's a little better 3-point shooter. I mean, he probably is a little bit more of an efficient player, but it's not by any huge margin that's gonna throw me for a loop. And then as far as true shooting percentage, I mean, it's kind of like some simple math. The three is just worth more, so if you hit a certain percentage of it, it just adds up to more points than a 2. I mean, it's just so as far as true shooting percentage, it's just kind of like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they weight 3-pointers because they're worth more points.
Yeah, so
it's
if you
like,
make a certain percentage of them, it's just going to give you added value on top of if you're someone that shoots a bunch of 2s. I mean, it's just you're just going to score more points.
Right. I mean, I thought Bird's was a perfect example of to show that true shooting percentage is flawed because they shot the same percentage from the field. Bird shot better from 3 and astronomically better from the free throw line, but LeBron's true shooting percentage is like 4% higher.
Just because of the volume of threes.
The volume of threes. Yeah, it has nothing to do with how well he shot them.
Right.
Yeah. It's just because in the long run, like I'm saying, like, if you gave them the same amount of shots, but LeBron shoots 7 more threes, even if his percentage is a little worse, he's going to end up scoring more points, so those shots are more valuable. So, I mean, it just...
But, you know, and this isn't even necessarily LeBron's fault. You're born when you're born, but Bird and Jordan were never, even if they wanted to, going to shoot the amount of threes guys shoot today because their coaches just never would have allowed for it. That was just bad basketball at that time.
Right.
We don't allow for that. And like you said, Wade, both these guys are talking about LeBron and Jordan, you know, are great at getting to the basket. The difference is LeBron's getting in the basket against nobody because everybody's staying in 3-point land, and Michael was getting to the basket with 4 and 5 and 6 guys staying in the paint. I mean,
And getting fouled on the way there.
And not with a defensive 3 seconds or with a arc under the rim where you can't go up and get my shot.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, just think about it like this. What would LeBron have done against the bad boys?
Cried.
I don't
Right.
know if he...
I mean, Lambert and Mahorn would have killed him.
Well, honestly, there's a lot of older people that, like, I'd say, like, probably closer to, like, Uncle Doug's generation. A lot of people that quit watching basketball or just flat out hate LeBron James because, you know, he's been the face of the NBA for quite a while now. And he's kind of just a whiny bitch. He flops around and cries to the referee almost every other play. And people that grew up watching the more physical game hate watching him play basketball. They hate it. When you're the biggest, most athletic freak we've maybe ever had in the history of the NBA, you cannot whine that much about people nicking your hand when you drive by them or stuff like that. That's like Shaq bulldozing through people, and then every play stopping and crying to the referee.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
that's almost what it's like.
No, yeah, you're 100% right. Here's the thing. That's why people recently have thought Giannis was such a breath of fresh air, because he goes into media stuff and doesn't brag on himself and talk about how great he is, and he doesn't bitch about the referees, and
He's very quiet on the floor.
yeah, he's very quiet. Yeah, he does. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody in the NBA complains about calls. I mean, it is what it is. I think part of it is taught to them because they're trying to get in the referee's head. But he's not like throwing his hands in the air and stomping around, and he just seems a lot more humble.
And he goes out there and he plays hard every night,
Yes.
and he goes for it. I mean, just kind of an example of what we were talking about, the whole different eras thing. I think we would all agree they're letting the Celtics get a little version of their own bad boy Pistons going on this year. And they held Kevin Durant to 38% on like 5 turnovers a game. And even the big Giannis is now shooting 38% with 11 turnovers against a really physical defense with him getting beat on. So it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. I mean,
Now, I will have to say, when we always talk about these players transitioning different eras, it is, if you're used to playing a certain way and then all of a sudden you're thrown to a situation where it's completely different, you are going to suck for at least a little bit. If they grew up in that era, someone like LeBron would adapt to it more, and he is such a physical freak.
he is.
You're not really going to stop LeBron. Or like a Giannis. And Kevin Durant's still 7 foot tall and will learn to get a shot off. They do adapt. They still are all-time great players.
Well,
there's just a little bit of a difference as far as how some of the stuff works.
I think the big thing with the physicality, regardless of whether LeBron's big, because he is you're not going to be playing at this high of a level when you're 19.
Right.
Because the
You're going to be worn down.
The toll is just that much more. First off, even without the physicality, we're talking like, man, LeBron still shouldn't be doing this. Guys that weigh that much shouldn't be running and jumping on their knees for this long. That's crazy.
Steroids.
I mean, to be honest with you, sports have made us cynical. I've thought about LeBron using roids or HGH or whatever for years. I have no facts. I'm not putting that out there like it's a report. I'm just saying, like, it has crossed my mind hundreds of times because, again, now as a sports fan, when you see something you've never seen before, your mind automatically goes to, are they cheating? Mm-hmm. Because any other time in my life when I've seen something I've never seen before, it comes out later they cheated.
Yeah.
Well, one of the best receivers in the NFL just got popped yesterday.
Yeah. Hopkins is spending 6 games.
Yeah, big dummy.
But, I mean, think about it. When I was a little kid, I know Uncle Doug will remember this, we saw the first 40-40 guy. And then, 2 years later, Canseco's on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then McGuire and Sosa.
Yeah, and then McGuire and Sosa. One of the most exciting times of my entire childhood was watching that home run chase. And then it comes out they're both on steroids, and Sammy Sosa's using an illegal bat.
Right.
And then Barry Bonds came
Yeah,
out, and the fucker grew his head.
Yeah.
He went over the top with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, yeah. Go ahead, Drew.
I was just saying that he went over the top with it. And,
Oh, sweet Jesus. And then the boy wonder that is A-Rod got caught 4 fucking times with steroids. At the end, he didn't even care. Just fuck it, I'm juicing.
boy wonder.
Although I will say, though, I personally, I don't think LeBron is taking steroids. I was just joking, but, I mean,
but let me ask you this, and I'm not even picking on LeBron. If it came out 6 months from now that LeBron has a steroid or HGH regimen, would you be stunned?
No, him and Giannis and maybe 1 or 2 other guys, you'd be like, I could see it.
Yeah, or Dwight, or some of these guys are just super jacked.
You're freaks of nature.
Yeah,
just absolute freaks of nature.
100%. And and I'm not even saying that about LeBron. There's a lot of guys that I used to say in baseball and football years ago, there's not a player playing that would surprise me if they tested positive right now.
Everyone knows that NFL players do it.
Yeah, because they don't
Common
test them
knowledge.
for it. Yeah.
I bet 98% of the NFL is on some sort of substance that's helping them. Because it's such a physical game, and you have to be so athletic and take such a pounding. I think a lot of them use it just for pure recovery reasons. And then the NFL set it up on purpose to where they know exactly when the testing is going to be, and they get a very large warning of when it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so stupid when they get caught.
Yes.
Hopkins,
Yeah.
Jesus. And that's why it's stupid when they get caught, busted for smoking pot, Josh Gordon. Like, it's just because it's the same concept. It's just ridiculous. But we've kind of turned this into a LeBron episode, but I just wanted to make it very clear who the GOAT is.
Well, I'm not done yet.
Okay, cut him
Go
loose.
for it. Go for it, Drew.
Well, the
That's it.
Lakers' win percentage this year, 44%. Michael, when he's with the Wizards, 45%. And you can't tell me those Wizards teams had more talent than these Lakers teams.
No, there's like 4 other Hall of Famers on the Lakers. In
Yeah.
various ages, mind you, but
Yeah.
still.
Westbrook should still be at the end of his prime, and Davis is supposed to be in his prime.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Davis didn't even on the court.
he is not.
No.
But that's the other thing with LeBron is we're starting to see the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
We're also seeing the end of his usual 4-year window. He goes places after that initial Cleveland stint. He goes places for 4 years, does what he wants, then leaves the franchise in shambles and goes to the next spot. And we're nearing the end of this stint, and people wondering if he's going to leave again.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of talk here lately on talk radio about is LeBron going to be with the Lakers next year. I'm personally hoping not.
That's bad coming from a Lakers fan.
Not wanting to begin with.
Nope.
Yeah.
Because we knew this was going to happen a couple of years down the road.
Yeah.
When we picked him up, I thought, well, franchise is going to be trashed soon.
You did at least get a chip.
Yeah.
You got a chip.
He at
out
least
of
did
it.
do that. But now he's one of the greatest Lakers of all time because he did that.
That's
Which is a bunch of
yeah.
baloney.
That is one of the 2 or 3 franchises where no. You can't just show up and win one championship and all of a sudden be in their top echelon.
Right. If we did a Mount Rushmore for the NBA teams as our next topic, none of us would bring LeBron to the table for the Lakers.
No.
No, I don't think it'd be even conversation.
No, he would clearly make it for Cleveland.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He'd
He'd be number 1 in Cleveland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he would definitely be in the conversation for Miami.
Yep.
But he's not even in the conversation for LA.
No.
I mean, it's easily Magic, Kobe, and then you can put Shaq or Kareem or
Jerry
Wilt
West
or Jerry West or Elgin Baylor.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I don't say some of those are automatic is because they split time with other teams.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, it's, yeah.
George
all those-
Mikan.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're probably even forgetting 1 or 2. I mean, yeah. Pretty
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, it 100% is. So I would like to do just a small exercise. So we got lists.
Yeah, there's some right over here.
Can everybody just grab their own list?
Okay, we have a Uncle Doug.
Thanks, sir.
Drusive.
Thank you.
Myself. Alberta.
Well, that guy's a fucking moron anyway. Sorry, Drew just showed me something somebody put on the internet.
Well, I wanted to show Alex that
Right.
that wasn't just pulling crap out of my boat, and people said he had no competition. Here's what this guy said. He said, if you think MJ had more competition, y'all are high. MJ only had competition in the 90s was the Pistons. MJ played with a top team.
The Pistons were done by 92.
No,
No, I mean they were the only good
Drew-
team in the 90s.
Drew's right. This has been a narrative for a while. People talking about how LeBron had to go through such tougher competition. It's a Nick Wright thing.
Yeah.
It's been a Shannon Sharp thing. It's been
Okay, well, let's just say this. Our lists, which are not like the ultimate list, but our lists are similar to the top 50s and top 75s we've seen in other places.
yeah.
They're littered with players from Michael's era. Like half our centers list played in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like what I said earlier, 9 out of 10 shot blockers.
Well, one of the
all
best things
time.
to say about Michael Jordan is he played in the most dominant center era in NBA history, and he dominated the paint.
Yes.
So I mean,
With all those centers we were just talking about, plus 2 of the greatest power forwards of all time played at the same time.
yeah.
Well, just look at his draft class. I mean, Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, Stockton. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Three other all-time greats other than him.
right. All and just one. That's just one class.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, his era was absolutely stacked.
Well, another thing with Michael is people from his era call him the GOAT. And I think all of them do. But the people in LeBron's era don't call him the GOAT.
No, it's very scattered.
I would say that there are more people right now, ex-player wise, calling Kobe the GOAT than LeBron.
There has been a big Kobe push since he passed away.
Yes, which I don't agree with. I agree that Kobe's an all-time great.
Oh yeah, I agree,
but I don't think
not the
Kobe's
GOAT.
the GOAT. I don't even
Right.
think he's really in the GOAT conversation. As far as like, does he stack up to Michael? I don't think he does.
I've never heard anybody call him the GOAT. I've had people say he's 2 or 3 and he's better than LeBron.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Matt Barnes said the other day on what's their podcast, Up in Smoke or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. He said that anybody that doesn't have Kobe top 3 doesn't deserve to have a list or something like that.
Matt Barnes played against him, so
Yeah.
he's just trying
Yeah.
to give him respect. But
No, I think Kobe's an all-time great. I have Kobe at 9 on my list, so top 10 all time. And I think we're doing what we do with anybody that dies. We inflate some of their accomplishments because they've passed away.
Sure.
yeah,
We do it with rappers, we do it with actors, we do it with athletes, we do it with politicians.
Do it with anyone.
Yeah, like we just tend to do that because we can't ever say anything negative about somebody that's passed away now.
yeah. I mean, I think he should automatically be in anyone's top 10 player of all time. He is a legitimate all-time great.
He didn't fall out of any of our top 10s, did he, Kobe?
I don't think
I don't
so.
think so.
Ray.
Yes, he
Yeah, I think
is.
he's 13 on Ray's
Sweet
list.
Jesus.
No, he's 16 on my list.
16.
Oh my!
Ray.
Right.
Blasphemy!
I see
it's just
Bob-
blasphemy. in
I see
here.
Bob Cousy right now at 11, and Scottie Pippen at 9.
Well, we got one more episode left. I guess we'll have some surprises. won't
I
we?
have Kobe at 7.
Yeah, I have Kobe at 7 as well.
I think the one knock about Kobe, as far as him, some people saying he's the GOAT or number 2 or 3, is you can make an argument he was never even the best player of his era.
Yeah.
He plays the exact same time as Tim Duncan, and you can argue Tim Duncan was more successful than he was.
Mm.
Yeah, between Duncan and Shaq and LeBron, you can make the case he was never the best player in the league for even a year.
Right. Well, so he
Yeah.
came in. Michael was still around.
Yeah.
And Shaq
And then he
ripped him
played
out
with
too.
Shaq and Tim, and then LeBron came in toward the end.
Yeah,
And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, Kobe played
I mean,
pretty rough time.
Yeah.
all that's opinionated. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
it's pure opinionated, but
Again, this is us comparing all guys we have in like our top 10 or 15.
Right.
Like
yeah.
we're sitting here going, well, should he be 7 or should he be 8 or should he be 5 or should he be 6? You know, like that's really what we're talking about here. We're not talking about, well, he should be 2 or he should be 18. Like, you know. But anyway, before I forget, I did want to do this. So we all have Mike top 2. So there is that. So we all, Scottie Pippen made every list in here, right? He made all 5 lists, right?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I know he made mine. Obviously, he made Ray's.
Obviously, why is it obvious?
He's top 10.
He's on mine.
Yes, he's on my.
What is it? I know Ray has him at 9, and like Wade has him at what, 18 or something. Wade.
Yeah.
Where you got Scotty?
Scotty,
I'm getting like 33.
41.
I got him at 48. So, which I did say Scotty would come up a little bit. But okay. And then a couple of us in here have Rodman,
Oh yes.
who played a grand total of
Yes.
3 years with Mike, by the way. I don't want to act like he played his whole career with Mike. He actually was one of the guys beating Mike up at the beginning of his career. But what, 3 of us had Rodman?
Me, Drew, and Ray.
Yes.
Yeah. And where you guys got Rodman
Don't
at?
say us. You were not part of our group.
No, I'm not. I don't want to be part of your group.
We are the ones with the feeling.
The great feeling.
The feeling.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Rodman's not gonna make my list even on my redo. So
48.
He's
Sorry.
staying on this bad boy.
Number 48 on my list.
I got him
48.
at 50.
Oh, Robin. 41.
okay, so essentially what we're saying is that Jordan played with a mid-tier top 50 guy, according to us,
Right.
and a maybe the end of your list guy, according to our lists. Okay. Now, everybody in this room, I don't know where Ray has him, but almost everybody in this room has LeBron also top 10.
Yep.
Ray, where's he have on your list?
Well, he's at top 10 right now.
Oh, is he 10?
Is he about to be outside the top 10?
Yeah.
I like it.
So is he 10 right now, Ray?
Yeah, he's 10 today.
Okay.
Not next week.
Not next week. Today.
So where's everybody got D Wade?
20.
I have him at 25.
I've got him at 25.
I'm at 16.
18.
18. So
Top 25 player all time.
his ranking is in total with us is higher than we have Pippin's.
Yep.
Okay.
Chris Bosch made a list.
Tell us about it, Alex. Tell us about it.
Yeah, tell us about it. There's not much to tell. I'll just give you guys a giant hint here. Chris Bosch has been replaced on my list, mind you. But
But he made a list.
he
He
did.
made a list. He was
He
in
did.
consideration.
Yeah, consideration.
And Anthony Davis
I was just saying,
made a couple
Anthony Davis
lists.
made 3 lists, I believe.
Yeah.
The you three, the
Yeah.
Laker fans
Now,
and Wade,
he may
right?
not be on there. Wrong.
I have him at 43.
Yeah, I've got Anthony Davis at 49.
Drew has them at 12.
No, that is false. 34.
And
Oh.
I got Anthony Davis at not available like half his career.
Still better than Bob Cousy.
I don't know that I agree with that either. But
Alex.
um,
You want to go back down this road? I'm just joking. Keep going.
but he's very similar rated to Rodman in this room. 3 people's lists,
Yeah.
and in the 40s on most of them.
Right.
And then we've talked about multiple times, if Kyrie and KD can win a title together, Kyrie will join these lists.
Kyrie just wasn't an idiot. He might even make a couple lists already.
And we forgot somebody else. Didn't 2 of you, maybe you 2 on the couch over there, have Westbrook on your lists?
Yeah, he made the
Yep.
bottom of my point guard.
Yeah, he did.
And obviously Kevin Love didn't make anybody's list.
Yeah.
No, Ray put that out pretty early in the podcast.
Dwight Howard, does he count since he's the backup for LeBron?
Well, he was on one of his title teams, but I don't know if I want to. I don't know, because I mean, I guess we could say
Yeah,
Robert.
just keep going.
I was
He's
gonna
back
say we could say Robert Parrish then for
Yeah.
Jordan, I guess. But
Well, Dwight plays.
Dwight at least plays.
He contributes to the team.
That's right.
that's true. That's true.
But anyway, we don't count Dwight. They don't count.
So what we're saying is that, LeBron's played with more guys on our list than Mike, and some of these guys are either similar or maybe even a little higher in D Wade's case than Scotty and Rodman. And like I said, Rodman was only there for 3 years. Now they won 3 titles in those 3 years,
Right.
but it's not like he played his whole career. That he and Scotty did play a majority of their career together. But how many guys do you have on your list that LeBron has played in the NBA Finals?
We got Stephen Durant.
Who almost made all of our lists. Ray left Steph off.
Well, he played Duncan.
Yeah, he played
Duncan
Duncan.
made all of our lists.
Kawhi for Wade.
Yeah. And he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere for me either. I don't know.
Dirk.
Oh yeah, Dirk.
Jason Kidd. If you count that. Yeah.
Is it who he played just in NBA Finals?
In finals, yeah.
Okay. James Harden. They played when he's at Thunder.
I was gonna say Harden doesn't make any finals. What are you talking
Well, then
about?
it's Westbrook too.
Yeah, and that would be
Yeah.
Westbrook as well. Yeah. That's
Well, does Harden count since he wasn't Harden yet? He was coming off the bench.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about the same thing with Kidd.
Yeah, it was
like he
like
was
the-
there, but it's not like he was a huge part of it. Like that's.
I would say Kidd was a bigger factor than maybe.
Yeah,
Harden.
he started. Yeah, I mean Harden didn't
Kidd
even
was still
start.
running the offense and everything.
But it wasn't.
Kidd actually guarded LeBron through some of those fourth quarters.
he did. Yeah. So is that it? Is that 7?
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay. So how many guys do we have on our list that played Mike in the finals?
Magic Johnson.
Well,
Kareem.
Was Kareem still there that year?
I think Kareem was still. I think
he
he
was-
was
No, that was 91.
Yeah.
They had Vlade.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
Well,
Vlade.
But Worthy made a list.
yeah.
So
Worthy.
Magic and Worthy, and then
Carmelo.
Drexler, and then
Stockton.
Kemp and Peyton,
Barkley.
Yeah,
Barkley, then Stockton and Malone, and
That's
we're forgetting of finals.
not finals.
Well, the Jazz were twice.
That is
Yeah.
true. The Jazz were twice. Okay, so he played Lakers, Seattle, Portland, and then he played
Jazz twice.
Jazz twice, and
He
Phoenix.
played like
Phoenix, yeah.
Well,
he played like half the list at least in the playoffs.
yeah.
Yeah.
He had to face think about the guys to get to some of these. You know,
He played
Reggie and Ewing every year.
Isaiah,
Isaiah
and Bird early
and Bird.
on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a couple more.
Ewing.
Yeah, Ewing, McHale.
I mean, Dennis Rodman for those first couple of years.
Yeah, that's true. Rodman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he play Dominique ever?
Yeah, I mean,
sure
they were in the
early
league
on,
at the
yeah.
same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether they played in the playoffs or not, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But
Charles
But of
Oakley.
course-
He played Charles Oakley.
that is true.
Oh,
'cause-
well, yeah. Mark Jackson, Chris Mullen.
Dwight Manning.
Yeah.
Moses,
but
maybe?
either way, we did. Even in the finals, though, we named 8 guys off our list,
Yeah.
and none of them were like, oh, like that guy that we're like, are we going to count this guy because he came off the bench or whatever? They were all like studs.
Yeah.
The stars of their team.
Yeah, the stars of their team. So yeah, no, that was all I wanted to do. I just wanted to do those 2 things real quick. Not a huge thing as Wade breaks his phone. All right, so now that we're almost an hour and a half into the episode, should we? And we haven't really talked a ton about Mike.
Well, Mike's great.
We've made our point though that Mike's the GOAT.
I think we've made our point throughout the episode.
Yeah.
Well, I think Wade had a good point earlier. Was when Uncle Doug was talking about Jabbar, I said one sentence, and Uncle Doug accepted it, and we moved on. With these LeBron arguments, we've talked so long about it because nobody just wants to face reason.
Right.
Like, all I said to Uncle Doug was, I think the difference is Mike was the best player on all 6.
Yeah. That's,
I mean,
that's a fact. Yeah.
Like, I was just like, that's the difference to me. And Uncle Doug was like, oh, well, yeah, that's a good point
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
And
true.
we moved on. And then we're like, but, LeBron didn't get to 6. And then it's like, yeah, but he lost more times in the finals, so that doesn't that count? And I'm like, what the fuck are we even talking about anymore? Like, you're talking about, well, his losses in the finals make up for him not having as many victories? Like, are you shitting me?
Well, while we're talking about the finals, there's this TikTok.
Oh, here we go.
It's a picture of LeBron in the middle, and he's crying, and it says, raise your hand if you never lost back-to-back finals. And there's Bill Russell, Michael, Larry, Hakeem, Isaiah, Shaq, Tim, and Kobe all like this during plays, and it's pretty funny.
Oh, man. Yeah. But anyway, shall we give our closing statements on old MJ here?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So Uncle Doug went first last time. Who went? Drew, you went last, so you can go.
All right. Well, here's my closing statement. LeBron will try to beat you. He definitely wants to beat you. But Michael wants to beat you in a way where you will be embarrassed on the ride home with your wife after the game.
Yeah.
I like that, Ray. I like that. Ray. I said Ray. Drew, I mean. Ray, that is you, though.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to do a quote from Magic, if the cat stays away from over here. All right, well, do what you want, cat. All right, anyway, this is Magic on Michael. We played cards every night. He wouldn't let me go to sleep. This guy would play cards from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. He would get 2 hours of 2 hours of sleep and have an 8 a.m. tea time. Go play golf, take a 2-hour nap, score 30 by halftime. This dude was just incredible. He's the GOAT.
I assume that's Dream Team stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Wade, that will lead us to you, sir.
Michael Jordan's the GOAT. LeBron can suck it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think I'll put it like this. We talked about, or not we, I shouldn't say. As a society, we talked about, and some, Drew won't remember this, but I think the rest of us should. Maybe we won't, Wade. When Mike Tyson was on top of the boxing world, people are like, Tyson's going to kill somebody. Tyson gets that look on his face, and he hurts people. And they're like, they were scared Tyson was going to kill somebody. He was the boxing version of Mike. Mike took every opportunity to come at your throat. Mike, yeah, like Drew said, some of these other guys, like a LeBron, they want to beat you. Mike wants to kill you. He wants to step on your throat, and he wants to end it. And then he's going to let you know about it afterwards. And nobody's been able to do to the league what Mike did in the middle of the 90s. Now, if you think it's a negative that he left for those 2 years, so be it. But essentially, for 6 years, he grabbed the league and said, it's mine. Come get it if you want to try, but it ain't happening. And we just named all the Hall of Famers and top 50 guys on our list that he beat in the finals. Not in the playoffs, not in the regular season, in the finals. Uncle Doug?
Well, it's just a different mentality. MJ, Magic, Bird could be friends because they were the only ones that understood what the other one was going through. But that didn't mean they were going to join up. Their biggest goal in life was to annihilate the other one. Not when you play against this guy and he beats you, you go join him, or you go find, go be a part of that team because you're tired, you can't beat them. You get better. You work harder. It's just a different mentality. Michael was just different. And he's the GOAT. That's it.
Well, I agree with what you just said there, Uncle Doug. And people don't realize, and you don't have to be to this quite extent, but Michael and Larry weren't friends at the beginning.
No.
They couldn't stand each other at the beginning because they were trying so hard to beat the other one, and everybody in the world was comparing them head up to each other. There was no, even at the very beginning, when they weren't the two best players in the league, nobody was saying, well, Bird and Kareem, or Magic and Dr. J. It was still Larry and Magic. They were just compared to each other all the time. And they wanted to beat each other. And they wanted to show each other up. And they didn't become friends until later.
Right.
But we've also heard Mike say his ultimate goal at the beginning of his career was to beat Larry and Magic. Because they were the gold standard. Yeah. And he's like, in order to get what I want, I have to go through them.
Yep. Not join with them.
Yeah.
Go through them.
Yes.
And you hear the stories about the Dream Team, the greatest game nobody ever saw.
Right.
Magic was still going at Michael as hard as he could go that far into his career. Bird finally had to tell him it's his.
Mm-hmm.
Magic and Bird knew at that point that Michael was the man.
By the way, I didn't realize this until listening to something just here recently, that Larry's best friend on the Dream Team was none other than Patrick Ewing, and it became a lifelong friendship. Like, they're friends, like really good friends to this day. And I was like, what? Patrick Ewing? Like, if I thought he was going to become really good friends with somebody that, wasn't Magic, I would have said, well, I'm sure him and the mailman probably sat around and talked about hunting all the time and fishing all the time. But no, it was Patrick Ewing of all people. Yeah, weird. Anyway, that's everybody's closing statement, and that'll end our Michael Jordan / LeBron portion of this episode. And that will move us into trivia. Drew, are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
Or did you give up all your TikTok questions for LeBron Jordan?
Nope, I got one still.
All right.
What single-season team has the best field goal percentage all time?
So what team
Yeah.
has the greatest single-season field goal percentage?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's a good question, Drew. You don't always have those, but that was a good one.
Do we just name the team? Do we have to name the year?
No, you just name the team. I'll tell you the year.
All right, I got to guess.
Not going to be that picky.
All right, I got to guess.
I gotta guess.
Ready?
All right, I said the Lakers.
Okay.
I said the Warriors.
To the Spurs.
Okay.
I also said the Lakers.
It is the Lakers.
Woo!
What year?
The 84-85 Lakers shot 54%.
Wow.
I actually wrote down before you said we didn't have to write down a year. I put the 2000 Lakers because Shaq shot some ridiculously high percentage from the field that year.
Well, it's all the Magic Lakers. Cause
After you said Spurs, I kicked myself because I thought it'd be Spurs.
well, an 83-84 Lakers shot 53%. The 79-80 Lakers shot 53%. The 82-83 Lakers shot 52%. The 85-86 Lakers shot 52%.
That's insane. The team, that's nuts.
Yeah.
All right, is it my turn like usual?
Yeah. By the way, I'm not. Well, I need to hold on. Let me tally real quick. I didn't tally that. Me and Ray. What was it?
Yeah, I got one.
All right, go ahead, Wayne.
Since 1984 up until 2021, everyone to lead the league in blocks per game has been a center except two players. Who are the two players?
That led the league in blocks.
Yes.
Huh, that's a good one, Wade. I like that.
Two players that weren't centers have led the league in blocks per game since and between 2021 and 1984. Ray, I told this to you last week.
That doesn't really mean anything. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, I got to guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Jeez, yeah, this is tough.
Crap, yeah. I'm struggle busting here. All right, I got two guys. You said right, two?
Yes, two.
Okay.
All right, I said Duncan and Triple J.
I said Bosch and Kevin Garnett.
Okay.
I said Rodman and Moncrief.
Okay.
And I said Rodman and Duncan.
Well, no one got it. Well, Triple J was this year, but it was 2021.
Oh, right. See, I didn't listen to the whole thing. Damn it.
It is Serge Ibaka did it in back-to-back years.
Yeah.
And Andre Kurtelenko, being a small forward, did it with
yeah.
over three.
I forgot about him. Yeah.
Over 3 blocks per game one year.
Okay.
He named himself a Kobe stopper in 1 year.
A lot of
and
people
and then
did.
Kobe torched him in the playoffs.
He was a crazy defender, though.
He was, yeah.
He was a crazy good defender. He had some long ass arms. And when you're a small forward and you average over 3 blocks per game, that's pretty legit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and dude, and your nickname is AK-47. That's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right, who'd like to go next?
All right, I can go.
Oh no.
Well, I already talked about the draft. This draft was too crazy. We won't worry about that. But we'll go with an MJ question. MJ left UNC, go play basketball, but he did go back and get his degree. What's his major?
I just rewatched The Last Dance, and it talks about that, and I don't remember what his degree's in.
Oh crap.
Oh, man.
All right, I wrote something down.
Yeah, I'm just going to write something down.
Yeah, I got it, guys.
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
I said marketing.
Accounting.
But criminal justice.
I put psychology.
Cultural geography.
Okay,
What
cool.
the fuck is that?
Yeah. The thing I was reading said it's some kind of pre-course for meteorology and studying that climate and stuff like that.
You could have had Michael Jordan, the weatherman.
He would have been taken it very seriously.
That's right.
No, there will be some goddamn clouds tonight, and I'll make it happen.
There will be no school tomorrow with this snow coming in.
All right, Ray,
All right.
do us a favor. Ask us a question 70s or closer to now. Nothing before that.
Okay. When was the last time James Harden team
Huh?
won a playoff series after losing game 1?
Huh.
Okay.
I got an answer.
I got an answer.
I got a tricky answer.
Okay, I wrote something down.
I'm gonna go with never.
I also said never.
I also said never.
I said 2016.
Everybody is incorrect. He was on the Rockets in 2015, the conference semifinals. He beat Doc Rivers' Clippers.
Shocker.
Losing to the Clippers
Chris Paul goes down again. Huh?
after having a series lead.
Oh man. Well, I guess that's me, isn't it? By the way, I did mean this the other day in the LeBron episode. I think LeBron and these guys may have set a precedent that may fuck their careers. The stat padding and the jumping around to create super teams and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy that we're getting ready to watch, Luka.
Yeah.
The stats he's putting up is asinine. And if he decides to jump around in mercenaries through some championships, uh-oh. Or Jokic.
Right.
I mean, to be honest with you, even somebody like Jason Tatum. Or Giannis.
Right.
Giannis already has a championship with 2 MVPs, and his stats are redonkulous. And he doesn't have a usage rate like Luka. I don't know. All right, here's my question. Sticking with my normal theme. There are 2 players currently playing in the playoffs that are averaging double-digit assists. Who are they?
So they're currently playing?
Yep.
Currently playing. Okay. Oh, gotta think who all's still playing.
By the way, here's an interesting question. If Phoenix wins the championship this year, which I think is possible, they're very good. What does that do to Devin Booker's legacy? I think we've all established we think it does wonders for Chris Paul. But what does it do for Booker?
I mean, it's so early on. I mean, it'll put him on a good trajectory, but as of right now, it's not going to do much. I mean,
Kind of like Kyrie's first one with.
yeah, I mean, later on in his career, it'll mean something, but right now, we'll just have to wait and see what all happens.
Oh.
I keep getting off track here.
I got an answer.
Yeah, I got one.
Are we supposed to name 2? Right?
Yeah, 2.
Oh, I need to get my second one. Oh.
All right, I got 2 names down.
Me too.
Everybody?
I say Chris Paul and Luka.
I said Chris Paul and Luka.
Ray?
I said Chris Paul and Draymond.
I put Harden and Luka.
Chris Paul is one of them, and the other one is Morant.
I about put
I
it.
almost said Ja.
Harden's averaging 9.4. Wade, he's close.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, it's Giannis at 7.5. So, yeah. So, the final tallies for the basketball trivia are as follows.
Ray, get my trophy ready.
Ray, unfortunately, coming in last place with 24 points. He did get a point on his last night, though.
Don't worry, they're the playing
Right.
tournament.
It's a play-in tournament. Yeah, I like that. Next, we have Uncle Doug with 47 points. After that would come Drew with 48 points.
I'll take a podium finish the first time.
And then after that will be Alex with 55 points. And coming in first place, and the rest of us not being that close, is Wade with a final tally of 63 points, 8 points ahead of the second place finisher.
Go Wadester.
Trophy?
So
True,
here
me.
you go with the trophy for the trivia championship. I present to you.
Thank
Here
you.
you go.
I'll say this, Wade. Congratulations on your
Yeah.
trivia, and I'm coming for you in football.
Good luck.
Wow, was that Liam Neeson?
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to thank all my fans for their devout passion and Kawhi Leonard, just because I like bringing you up in every episode.
Well, I will say this, Wade. Of the loyal listeners that I do know of, a lot of them say that you're their favorite host.
There you go.
Mark says you're his favorite host. Biggie says you're his favorite host. But we don't know where the guy in France where his allegiance lies. But we do appreciate him or her.
That's right.
Indeed.
But none of them agree with your Kawhi take.
Well, they're all fucking fools.
And Wade just lost
And
followers.
You almost lost your Biggie fandom over the AI stuff.
Nah. I can live with it. Stand by my statement.
All right. Well, everyone.
Wait, are we all going to lose Biggie after this LeBron bashing we just gave?
Maybe. I don't know.
I got one more thing to say. LeBron doesn't have a song like Michael does. I want to be like Mike.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah. That's true. So that will wrap up our final player episode for the 50 greatest players of all time portion of this podcast. So next week will not be a player. It will be our final episode for basketball where we go over our renewed lists and talk about our changes, whether one of us convinced the other one to make a change, whether a current player did something crazy that vaulted them onto our list, whatever the case may be. That is what we will do, and next week we will hear our new lists, hopefully Charles Oakley free.
I'll keep hoping.
And then the following week we will start football. And just a reminder for those of you that may not have heard, it is the Mount Rushmore for all 32 NFL teams. And we will start with the Baltimore Ravens. No,
Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers. I
Pittsburgh
apologize. The Pittsburgh Steelers. I botched that real quick. My bad. We will start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.